Let's go Chelsea, because Chelsea's fascinating because they truly could sign 3 players. They could sign 5 players.
Yeah.
They don't really care. I think they're going to bring Ivan Toney in. I think they're going to bring in a striker. I think everybody here knows that Nicholas Jackson is
not the answer.
Not the answer to anybody's questions, unless the question is who is the biggest waste of space on the pitch. So I think they bring in
Other
Ivan
than
Toney.
the 3 goals he scored against us in the start of our demise of our season.
That was the worst hat trick in the history
of the sport.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He could have had 14 or 15 goals.
So it's funny you went Toney here because...
Well, I'm just going to say, I also think they bring in Toney and like potentially Broha goes the opposite way to reduce the fee a little bit.
Okay, so that's great because I have Broha going out as one of them. And then my number 1, similar to don't sign this guy / I said no more incoming players. So...
Not going to happen, but okay.
I know.
Pochettino said they're literally going to sign 2 or 3 players.
Nkunku was for me my signing of the summer. Got injured, but
always is.
I think him coming back, if he can get fit, will be one of the best players in the Premier League. I am the biggest Nkunku fan you might find.
You do love Leipzig.
I do. I'm a big Leipzig fan. I mean, they just produce studs. Nkunku, I think he was one of the best signings. So I think you bring him in, and
what's his best position? That's my only issue with him.
I think he's
not a straight flat out 9.
No, I think he plays behind. I think he plays a similar way.
So how do you figure that out?
I think he plays a similar way to when I talked about him over the summer. I was really high on Chelsea when they first got Nkunku. I didn't like the Nicholas Jackson signing, but I said Nkunku could emulate what Dele did in his prime at Spurs, the way he played as a second striker, number 10. With Reece James and Ben Chilwell playing the Kyle Walker, Danny Rose situation. Like, I thought he could kind of remake what went so well.
Rebuilding Pochettino's Tottenham.
I mean, that was his best team.
Yeah.
I thought Nkunku is a better version of Dele, and I thought that could have really worked. So what I did is I think Arsenal, and this is kind of going into Arsenal, who we're going to get to, but I think Arsenal's in a position to do and club-wise, they're in different positions, but I think money-wise. But I think Arsenal's in a position to go win the league. So I had them bringing in Ivan Toney. And inversely, I have Chelsea bringing in Osimhen over the summer. The same way you have Toney going to Chelsea and then Osimhen to Arsenal,
which I think is
over the summer.
By the way, that's probably one of those 2 is probably what's going to happen.
Yeah. So just because Osimhen, you're going to need the price tag, which I think Chelsea has more of than Arsenal, even though Arsenal has spent smarter, so may have some more funds, but once again, it's not our money. We don't know what they're going to do with it.
We don't have Saudis funneling our money.
Yeah, so I said, give Poch, don't bring in anyone new players. Give Poch time with the squad he has. Get rid of a few people. Let Nkunku get into the squad. And then, obviously, Osimhen come in. Jackson's clearly not the answer. Sorry, that was a very long
No, that's fair. I mean, my next 2 for them are basically just they generally have too big of a squad. Like, I don't even have that many specifics. Like, I saw today Gallagher's rumored to get sold.
Yeah, Gallagher, I think, is going to go.
Surprising because he's actually been one of their best midfielders.
Which is so confusing. They have so many people who aren't playing consistent minutes for him, and then the one guy who is, they want to sell.
Trevor Chalobah,
Chalobah, got to sell him.
At least send him on loan for the rest of the year so we can up his transfer value.
That was my third.
Noni Madueke, send him on loan for 6 months.
Madueke, Chukwuemeka. I mean, not that they're not good players. It's just like, what are you doing?
I'm so high on. Yeah. I'm so pissed they got him. Arteta was tracking him. We were close on him, and I was very disappointed. And then my last thing was, as crazy as it sounds, I do think Chelsea are going to buy someone, and this is not a big cost.
I think they will too.
Ryan Cherki from Lyon is.
They're putting a €10 million price tag on him. That is nothing. Are they down bad over there?
Yeah, they may get relegated.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Lyon's in bad shape.
Wow, I didn't realize it got that bad.
You haven't seen the whole thing about Taylor Swift?
No.
So Taylor Swift's playing in Lyon the weekend of the relegation playoff, and Lyon's never been relegated, so they didn't even they thought there was no chance.
In the stadium, you're saying?
Yes. So if
I thought you were just saying in the city.
If Lyon end up in the relegation playoff, it's the same night as a Taylor Swift show in the Lyon stadium.
Hilarious.
So it's a potential disaster. Other than the fact that Lyon could get relegated.
That's a great tidbit.
It is. It's all.
That's amazing.
My Twitter's been a lot about that today. But yeah, incredible profile. I actually think not only would he be really good at Chelsea, but he actually would make Mudryk better. Put Mudryk on the left, who's more of the transition.
I think Mudryk is good, and I think he needs time.
Well, the issue is he's a transition player, and they're trying to get him to play in these tight spaces. I don't think he's 100 million euros good, but again, not our money. Let's just call him the player. He's a great transition dad. I actually wanted Arsenal to get him because our dynamics are similar. Martinelli's on the left as a transition threat. Saka's more involved in build-up. He's more creative, whatever. Cherki could do that same role for them on the right wing, whether it's Nkunku up top or Tony or whatever. I think those dynamics would work well. And, I mean, Ryan Cherki was like the youngest UCL debutant at one point. He has been a massive prospect for like 6 years, and he's still only like 21 years old. And he's finally hit his stride. This would be a huge signing for anybody, and I think Chelsea, with the project they've got going, like, why not spend another 10 million euros?
Yeah, I'm biased in the fact that I think Poch is a great manager. I know some people don't, but I think his specialty is breeding young players and bringing them up.
Manager. I mean, he's not world class, but he's a good manager.
So I think the key is, like, Chelsea fans don't give it time, don't have unrealistic expectations you are what you are. I think they are committing to a rebuild with all the signings they brought in. None of them, are over like 25 or something, 24?
Yeah, no, I mean,
I say give them time. Don't bring anyone else in until you can make that move for Osimhen, because Jackson's not the guy.
I mean, the big thing they need to do is start trimming the squad, because it's just not good for anybody when the squad's that big. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah. I don't even know how they train.
Yeah, it's insane.